What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you 3 recent returns and profile the individuals that signed autographs for me through the mail. And the first return is from Orlando, Florida. And it is a former pitcher from the 1970s, Wayne Granger, on 2, 3, and 2 Yankees cards there makes 4. So let me tell you about Wayne Granger and his career in baseball. Granger, a Massachusetts native, actually signed with the St. Louis Cardinals out of Springfield College in 1965. Prior to that, he pitched a couple seasons in Canadian baseball, actually. After signing with the Cardinals in 65, he was assigned to their High A affiliate and also their Double A affiliate, where he split the season in 31 games with an 11-12 record. The following year, he would completely be in Double A, and he posted an 11-2 record in 47 games as a relief pitcher. From there, he moved up to Triple A in 1967, appeared in 57 games for the Cardinals that year in Triple A, and posted an 8-7 record. In 1968, he again would begin the year in Triple A. However, the Cardinals gave him a call up to the major leagues on June 5th, 1968, where he would make his professional debut. In his rookie season, he would appear in 34 games for the Cardinals as a relief pitcher, posting a 4-2 record and a 2.25 ERA. Despite this, the Cardinals decided to trade him away for veteran outfielder Vada Pinson in the offseason to the Cincinnati Reds. Granger would become a fixture of the Reds bullpen in 1969, where he would appear in a league-leading 90 games for the Cincinnati Reds, posting a 9-6 record and a 2.8 ERA. So, if you think about this, he appeared in more than half of the games in baseball as a pitcher that year for the Reds that they played. 1970, he would appear in 67 games for the Reds, and he would post a 6-5 record with a 2.66 ERA. 1971, he would post a 7-6 record, appearing in 70 games for the Reds that season. Despite having successful seasons with the Reds decided to trade him to the Minnesota Twins in the offseason between 1971 and 72. He would just spend that one season with Minnesota, appearing in 63 games for him that year, and then the Twins would trade him again in 1972 back to the team that originally drafted him, the St. Louis Cardinals, for John Cumberland and Larry Heisel. He would again spend one more season in St. Louis, where he would appear in 33 games for the Cardinals that year. However, midway through the 1973 season, actually past the midway point, August 7th, the Cardinals decided to trade him again to the New York Yankees. He would have finished the 1973 season with the Yankees, appearing in 7 games, and would go into spring training with the Yankees the following year in 1974. However, the Yankees decided to release him before the start of the season. He would sign on with the White Sox in the 74 season, but would appear in just 5 games for the White Sox, spending the bulk of his season, 33 of those games, in the minor leagues for the White Sox affiliate. The White Sox would let him go after the 74 season, and he would sign with the Houston Astros. With the Astros, he would appear in 55 games for them that year, posting a respectable .365 record with a 2-5 win-loss record. The Astros decided not to re-sign him, and the following year in 1976, he signed with the Montreal Expos. He split the season between their AAA affiliate and the major leagues, appearing in 27 games for the Expos and 26 games for their AAA affiliate. After the 76 season, the Expos decided to release him, and he actually signed as a minor league free agent with the Atlanta Braves. The Braves didn't put him on his active roster, and he actually wound up signing to play in the Mexican League that year in 1977. There are no stats from the 1978 season, so I'm going to either assume he sat out the 78 season or he played in the Mexican League. And he re-signed with the Montreal Expos in 1979. However, the Expos decided that they didn't have room for him on the Major League staff, and he would spend the entire 1979 season appearing in 24 games for the Expos AAA affiliate. Granger would retire as a player after that 1979 season. The Cincinnati Reds inducted Granger into their Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame in 1982. He is now retired, but he frequently attends events for the Cincinnati Reds, like the Reds Hall of Fame events and the Reds Fest events, still to this day. So I want to thank Mr. Granger for signing these 4 cards for me. Got another one for the Senior League set signed, and we'll move on to the next one. Right, this next one is postmarked from California. And this one, I've shown this guy's card in one of my card pickup videos. And it is a return on 2 dual rookie cards of the Houston Astros of Tom Griffin. Also, another one from him solo as a Houston Astro, and a 4th as a Houston Astro. Now all of these are Houston Astros cards, but Tom has played for a lot more than just the Astros in his career, so let me tell you about Tom Griffin and his career in baseball. Tom Griffin was selected in the 1st round, 4th overall in the 1966 January regular baseball draft by the Houston Astros out of a high school in California. The 18-year-old was assigned to the Astros rookie ball affiliates, and he actually shot through the Astros organization rather rapidly because of them being a rather younger team, I guess you would say, at the time. And by the time he was 21 years old, he was on the pitching staff of the Houston Astros. In his first full season at 21 in 1969, he posted an 11-win and 10-loss record in 31 games started for the Astros that year. The following year, however, the wheels kind of fell off, and Tom just posted a 3-win, 13-loss record in 20 starts for the Astros that year, and also spent some time in their AAA affiliate. In 1971, he attempted to bounce back, but found didn't have too much success in his 10 outings in the majors, and spent the majority of the 71 season in AAA, starting 16 games. Well, in 1972, new refined Tom Griffin came to the Astros, and they decided to primarily use him out of the bullpen that year, where he appeared in 39 games, and he posted a 5-4 record with a 3.24 ERA. 1973 would be kind of a mixed bag, where he would be a spot starter starting in 12 of the 25 games he appeared. Well, in 1974, the Astros decided to put him back in the starting rotation. He started 34 games for the Astros that year and would post a 14-win and 10-loss record. This would be the highest amount of wins that he would have since his first rookie season in 1969. This would actually mark his highest amount of wins in his career, actually, in a season. In 1975, he would appear in just 17 games that year for the Astros. In 1976, he pitched most of the season with the Astros. However, his contract was not protected, and the San Diego Padres decided to make a waiver claim and place him on their roster. Well, in San Diego, he actually had a fairly good success his first year there. In his 11 games with San Diego, he posted 4 wins and 3 losses with a 2.94 ERA. Well, the next year, in 1977, he would again split time between being a starter and a reliever in the bullpen for the Padres, posting a 6-9 record. After the 1977 season, he would sign with the California Angels. He would spend just that one season with the Angels, appearing in 24 games for them. The Angels let him go after the 78 season, and he would sign with the San Francisco Giants in 1979. He would spend the next 3 years with San Francisco, appearing in games, being a spot starter here and there, and in 1981 actually would start 22 games as a starter for the Giants at age 33. Despite putting solid numbers up as a starter with the Giants, posting an 8-8 record with a 3.76 ERA, the Giants decided to trade him to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he started the 1982 season with the Pirates. He had a very rocky start to the season, posting a 1-3 record with an 8.87 ERA, and after that, on May 15th, the Pirates released him from his contract. This was the end of Tom Griffin's playing career in affiliated baseball. After the 82 season, I'm not really sure what he did post-playing career, as I do not have access to that on his Wikipedia page. However, over his career, he spent 14 years in the major leagues, playing for 5 different teams. He pitched in 401 games during his career. He started 191 of those games, so nearly half of those games was as a starter. And his career lifetime ERA was 4.07. So I want to thank Mr. Griffin for signing those for me, and he actually signed in 2 different Sharpies. You can kind of see that he either used a fine-tip Sharpie or an ink pen to sign those 2, and then he used, a full blue Sharpie to sign those 2, which they still show up fine. But I'm hoping maybe that I can get Skip Gwynn to sign this as well. I know that he signs through the mail, so hopefully you'll be seeing those 2 in the future in a future TTM video. So we'll move on to the last individual. All right, so this last one, postmarked from Florida, and it is former catcher Phil Roof on his rookie card, along with tops. Well, they're all tops, but also some cards from the 60s and one from the 70s. So let me tell you about Phil Roof and his amazing lifetime career in baseball. Roof was born in Kentucky. He had a brother named Paul that signed with the Braves out of high school, but he also had a younger brother named Gene Roof. After graduating from high school in Kentucky, he signed with the Milwaukee Braves upon graduation. After 2 minor league seasons in which he batted .236 with 11 home runs, Phil Roof debuted with the Braves at just 19 years old at the end of the 1960 season with the September call-up. He, however, did not get in a game in that 1960 season, and the following year he made his major league debut on April 29th, catching the 9th inning to a loss to the Giants. Roof would then spend the next 2 seasons in the minor leagues, not getting a call to the major leagues, and then in 1964 he would appear in 91 games for the Braves and just get that 1 game up in the majors in 1964. After that 64 season completed, Roof was traded to the California Angels. Well, with the California Angels in 1964, Roof would appear in just 9 games with the Angels before they decided to trade him to the Cleveland Indians, where he would appear in 43 games for the Indians to round out the end of the season. After the 65 season completed, the Indians would then ship him to the Kansas City A's for Jim Landis and Jim Ritwadge. And this was also the trade that brought Joe Rudy to the Kansas City A's. With Kansas City, Roof would be their primary catcher from the 1966 and 67 season. However, in 1968, he would appear in just 34 games for the club, but would relinquish appearing in 106 games the following year in 1969. After the 69 season ended, he would be then traded to the Milwaukee Brewers. Going into 1971, he would catch 41 games for the Brewers in 1971, but the Brewers decided to trade him on July 8th, 1971 to the Minnesota Twins. Once he arrived at the Twins in 71, he would be the backup catcher primarily for the Twins from 72 to 75 until the 1976 season. He would then be claimed off of waivers by the Chicago White Sox. But after the season ended in 1976, the White Sox would then trade him to the Toronto Blue Jays. He would start the year with Toronto, however he would only catch in 3 games, and the Blue Jays would then release him from his contract in 1977. After being released from his contract as a player by the Blue Jays, he would remain on as a coach with the Blue Jays as a bullpen catcher / coach throughout the end of the 77 season. Well, right after the 77 season ended, he would shift over to the San Diego Padres as a bullpen coach in 1978. He then would be a bullpen coach from 1983 to 88 with the Seattle Mariners organization as well as the Chicago Cubs from 90 to 91. He would spend the rest of the time filling in as a minor league coach for the Twins organization and other organizations. He would serve as the bullpen coach for the Minnesota Twins during spring training, very commonly. as of through 2020, he still was helping out with the minor leaguers in camp with the Twins. He may or may not be doing that anymore. He does have a couple nephews and sons that played professional baseball in the minor leagues. They never got to the major leagues, any of them. And like I mentioned, his younger brother Gene also played in the majors for a little while. So I want to thank Mr. Roof for signing. I want to thank Mr. Granger for signing these cards along with another senior league card as well. I also want to thank Tom Griffin for signing as well. I hope that you learned a little bit about some players from the 60s and 70s that you may not have been aware of. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, happy collecting.